What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So today I kind of wanted to do a basics of the Necromancer type video. Whether you're new to the game entirely, or you're new to the Necromancer, or maybe you've been playing a little bit of the Necro and you're like, man, it doesn't make sense to me. Whatever. Either way, however you want to look at it, this is going to be really geared more towards the newer folks to the Necro. Real quick, short summary. What we're going to do here is we're going to run a Bone Spear build. I advise everyone playing the Necromancer to run a Bone Spear build, especially if you're not sure how to play it. It is the simplest, it is the highest damage output. Unfortunately, I wish the minions were better. Maybe we'll get a minion update at some point where they're actually worth playing, but for now we're going to run Bone Spear. Just make sure you got your, a couple points into Bone Splinters. We're going to want to put most of our points into Bone Spear. Definitely want to grab these two right here. I have a full-length guide video on this, so I don't want to go too in-depth. Corpse Explosion, you can use it to regenerate some essence. You can use it as a damage boost from one of the Paragon boards. I currently am not running points into Hewed Flesh. I kind of move them back and forth for different things. They're really easy, real simple, and I would suggest that you do the same as well once you learn it. But for now, don't worry about it. Keep this in mind. If you're struggling for corpses, put them here. If you don't feel you're struggling for corpses, put it here. Death's Embrace and Death's Reach. This is kind of more of a mandatory one. This is just, hey, a little bit more damage up close, a little bit less damage taken. This is your other big one, Corpse Tendrils. Throw all your points in there for the cooldown reduction. Then you're gonna max these three out right here. Okay, and then this is explained a little bit more in the more in-depth Necro video, but if you can get points on your amulet for Avulsion, definitely do so. It's a big assistance there. This is going to give you a little bit more attack speed. Put you some points in here. This is use some damage reduction and some boost to your Book of the Dead sacrifices. Bone Storm is a really good spell to have. It's definitely a damage mitigation, and then this is a requirement, Ossified Essence. Because we're trying to keep this video short, I don't want to go too much in everything. Paragons, we're not even going to touch this video. It's just kind of whatever. Corpse Explosion, Corpse Tendrils, Bone Storm, Blood Mist, Bone Splinters, and Bone Spear. Going forward, I probably will be more hit or miss explaining what's going on. I'm gonna try to tackle this from a new player perspective. Okay, so here we go. Right here, we can see on the map we've got a big guy, an elite, way over here. The benefit of the Necro is that our Bone Spear attacks from a long range, so we're just gonna want to light this guy up from from pretty far away, right? Bone Spear Necros do a lot of damage. They do a lot of damage, and once you can get them geared sort of properly, they do even more damage. Alright, so let's see. Had to yell at the kids for a second. Alright, so Necro is all about maintaining distance for the most part. So whenever you see enemies on the edge of your screen, just go ahead and launch some Bone Spears towards them. Never hesitate to use a health potion. On a big group, if you want, and you're not doing like one-shot damage to them, you can wait, and then once you see that corpse on the ground, pull them all in. Here's another one that I don't know how many people may know. So let's see if we can bait the suppressor in. And we failed. All right, hold on. Let's back out. We'll drag this out for a second. So one of the other cool things you can do is you can actually use the suppressor, or use the tendrils through the suppressor's field, right? And even if the suppressor, so this will work right here. So if this is your mob, the suppressor field is going to be out here. If you drop a corpse tendril on this one, even if it's just outside the radius, as long as the mob is within the radius of corpse tendrils, it'll pull it over. I don't think it's supposed to work like that, but it does. That may be fixed. Alright, here we go again. Let's try it. Watch, I'll show you. Let's see if I can bait this out. We want to get him to stop attacking for a moment. Well, you kind of see what was going on there. It's a hard one to bait. And most of the time it just sort of happens. Let's see. Bone Spears. Bone Spears are awesome. As you start to get really more of your gear and your stats right, you really are just gonna walk through dungeons. Bone Spears, the Bone Spear build. Apparently I can't click and think at the same time. But the Bone Spear build is really good for just fast farming. You just kind of one-shot everything. Alright, so if you're ever in trouble like this, let's say if I run in there, pop those, the Bone Storm. Look at all that damage reduction. I have a barrier now, gives me a chance to pop a potion. Still have my barrier. Drop some corpse tendrils, pull them all in together. One spear, dead. Alright, so here we go again. Let's see. I'll try to get her into. Okay, so the field is over it. You can actually cast into it, right? So it's in there, pulls them all in, and there you go. So now you've stunned your suppressor from outside of the bubble, which gives you a chance to move. Is this a suppressor affix? It is not. By the way, tab pulls it up and you can see all that stuff over there. So I really want to see if I can right there, you saw how the elite was up against the wall. When you're fighting them inside a suppressor, especially, or inside the bubble, you definitely want to try to get on the other side of them, right, and bounce it off the wall. You want all of those bone spears, or as many of those shards, to come back and go through the corpse as possible, because each one of those is going to do its own crit damage, right? There we go, we got a lot of mobs right here. Just go ahead and drop it. Piles them all together, and easy peasy. And then also at the same time when you're using your corpse tendrils, it's got let's see, 35% chance to drop the blood orb. So your blood orbs are gonna, I had to read it, I couldn't remember. Your blood orbs are also gonna heal you. A little bit of extra health. So many potions drop though, it's not really necessary. One of the other benefits of corpse tendrils, right, is going to come on an imprint that we're going to put on our gear. So we're going to gain 30% increased critical strike chance for 6 seconds. So that means even if you don't hit anybody with that, right, your crit strike chance goes up. And that's going to apply towards everything that you're casting at. And then the mobs that you do hit with that, you're going to gain a 90% bonus to the crit strike damage. So when you're looking for cooldown reduction, you're going to want to try to keep corpse tendrils down as low as possible. It's harder for me to remember to cast it in these lower dungeons because it's just you walk through and one hit everything. When you hit the higher tier dungeons, you'll definitely cast it more. find any other odd predicaments to put ourselves into. This is gonna work. Blood Mist right there. Alright, so Blood Mist is complete immunity. The moment you go into Blood Mist, just go ahead and hit your Q key and start healing yourself. Really want to see if I can show it reaching into the bubble. There it is, just right there. So it reached, the tendrils reached into the bubble and still, the tendrils reached into the bubble, right? And still managed to pull them over to where it was at. So as long as the mob is within the range of the tendrils, it will pull the mob and the bubble all the way over. I imagine there will come a day in time this will get fixed. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I mean, maybe it's working as intended, maybe it's not. I don't know. But it's definitely cool that it works like that, as it allows you to place the mob in. If you need to replace it and you have a corpse somewhere else and the corpse is a better position for you to fight the mob, it'll allow you to place it there. You can't just like pick the mob up and move it where you want, but it's definitely a large benefit. Besides, corpse symbols are fun. I mean, it's really simple if you run low on essence. As you can see, every time you hit that corpse explosion, you're gonna regenerate some essence there. And then here's another one. Let me show you. So as you build through, that was a very delayed response on my part. So we have critical skill damage count, but what we're going to look at right here is we're going to start proccing something. So we're going to deal bonus damage from consuming corpses, right? Every time we consume a corpse, we're going to deal bonus damage. And then we have a different consumption, which is in the Paragon tree, which I'm not going to get into right now. But once we stack to 4, 5, bam. Now we've got another, we have 2 additional damage bonuses. So there's a lot of stacking damage with the Necromancer. I don't really know how other classes have played. I've just had so much fun on my Necro that I haven't really bothered to play some other classes. I did play Rogue in the beta, but I wish they would bring minion viability and blood viability back for the Necro, though. If you've never played Necro, I have to strongly discourage you from playing minion anything past the first part of the game. It just doesn't hold up. And blood can hold up, sort of. I am leveling another Necromancer that I'm going to try to mess around with on a few different blood builds. Blood Lance. I don't know. I haven't decided whether I'm going to try to do a Blood Lance or minion build, but so far neither of them have been as fun. The minion is definitely, you kind of just hang back and let your minions do everything for you, and then pray to God you have enough corpses to revive the minions. There is an imprint that allows your golem, I believe, to have like a 2 or a 3% chance to res a minion when he's fighting. I don't know if that's really worth it, but... So with this build right here, your 2 main casts are going to be Bone Spear and Corpse Tendrils, and you're going to cast them all the time. So if when you can get that Corpse Tendril down to a low 6 second, it essentially means you can have a constant uptime of that extra damage. There are different builds. What I'm using right now is more of just a farm build. I one-shot everything in the 40s to 50s and most of the things in the 50s to 60s. So it's more fun for me because I attack faster, move faster, never worry about having to manage my essence. So I mean, I will say, if you're interested in the Necromancer, it's a lot of fun. And there's just numbers everywhere. One thing that I wish Blizzard would change is giving us the option to turn the vulnerable off. I don't really want to see it, like the word vulnerable. It just, you know, it's in the way. Just show me my numbers. That's all I care about. So in these situations, do you need to pull them in? No, but it can be fun, especially if you're just, you know, running around with you and a buddy, or you and your wife, or, you know, your spouse. Large groups of enemies make for awesome number piles, so it's always fun. I misread the dungeon. I was thinking I missed the mob right here, and then I needed to finish there, but if you ever wonder what to do with all the gems that you see laying on the floor, leave them. One thing you can do for gems is, or what I did, right? So this is what I did, because the gems here don't have near the importance that the gems in D3 did, at least as of right now. So what you can do is take all your gems, and then once you get 50 of them, like 50 of each, drop them into your bank and just leave them there, and then never pick any of them up again unless you're like, hey, I'm running low on this, let me get some more of these. But gems seem rather useless at the moment, as far as, like, I don't want to say useless, because they're obviously they're useful, right, in the gear. I just mean stacking multiples of them. Now here's where the Necro shines. It's just bosses. They're like, you delete them. And that's what I love about the Necro. You just delete it. Now when you're leveling for your Bone Spear, I definitely recommend these: the Essence, the Exploit, the Gravekeeper, Imbiber, and Sacrificial. Sacrificial is probably the very first one that you should level. It's the first one that I leveled. That's going to go into your core abilities tree, like the very first Paragon board. I don't want to go into Paragon points. I don't want to go into glyphs. I just kind of wanted to give you the basic rundown of the Necro, how to play it, and you know, the basic abilities of it. So we can do different videos later for everything else. So I hope everybody enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, please feel free to, you know, to leave a comment. And maybe if you felt this video taught you anything, hit that subscribe button. I definitely am looking forward to making more content. So thank you very much, everybody. Y'all have a wonderful afternoon. Take care.